What's going on, guys? It is FaZe Simp here, and today I'm going to bring you another recap video. I'm going to be recapping our last 4 matches. I didn't have a recap last week, just because I feel like it was kind of a weird week for us. So, I decided to just do both here. So I'm just going to be running through the series, and yeah, just giving you my thoughts. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So first map for the Toronto series was Gavutu Hardpoint, and this is a map they've been picking against us a lot. Not picking, but more so like picking the play, because they have to choose between Boat Cage or Gav against us, and they chose Gav this time. So I mean, I don't know, for us I feel like Gav against them is like a pretty not easy win, but it's like they're not one of the better Gav teams against us. So I don't know, I feel like they're not going to be challenging us on Gav anymore. The one thing about this map that I feel like really stood out against Toronto was that we were getting a lot of insta breaks against them. They were set up after giving up a decent amount of time, and we would just break their setup and get the time right away. So especially on a map like Gav that's very rotation reliant, I'd say, for the most part, that just can't be happening. So we took that map pretty freely, and we were up 1-0 going into a Tuscan S&D. So our S&D has been pretty spot on for most of the stage. Ever since the major, I think our S&D has been really good. And this is another one of those times where our S&D was good. We were playing Tuscan S&D. We had most of the first bloods. So, we were having man-up situations most rounds. And I feel like we were just having really good teamwork and really good play calls, We were doing a really good job of getting the blood and kind of using our numbers, pushing lanes out, and just doing that over and over again. So we ended up taking that map. It was like a 6-3, 6-4 dub, I think. And that brought us up 2-0 going into a Gav control. This Gav control wasn't really anything crazy. I mean, defense won every single round until the round 5, which ended up being us. We ended up having offense round 5. Sometimes we have a really bad job of getting ticks on offense sometimes. And I feel like it's been giving us round 5 offense a decent amount. But I will say Gavutu offense has been getting a lot harder over time, just because teams have been getting better at playing their defenses and playing the map well. During the last round on the offense, we had a lot of really good team pushes, which we ended up having like a 6 or 7 kill life lead with like a minute and a half on the clock after we capped A. And when situations like that happen, you kind of gotta just keep the pressure on and not let them have any chance of getting back into the series. And it's kind of what we did. I mean, we almost trolled because we went down. We didn't go down, but we got 4 dead. Like they killed all 4 of us. And I don't know, I feel like in that situation we definitely could have played kills a little bit better. But even then, we're up so many kills and we have so much time, we kind of just made it work. And we ended up 3-0ing Toronto, and that was a really good series for us, just because I feel like any series where we 3-0 people is just good to have that confidence on our back. After that Toronto series, we ended up playing LAG the next day. So let's get into that series. So going to the LAG series, first map ended up being Boat Cage, and this is a map that has been very hit or miss for us in the last stage or 2, I think, in matches. Overall, I feel like we're still extremely nasty at it. But I feel like there's random times where we have I don't know, we just kind of like don't work together. That makes sense. And teams kind of just do whatever they want. And I think LAG did a really good job of making us not really touch P2, just because they were pushing out our A plat and our front tools a lot. So we weren't really able to get close to hill. That's kind of just the story of the map. We didn't really touch P2, and then we were doing too much when we did have the hill. So we were getting insta-broken. So we ended up losing this map. And this was the beginning of our hardpoint just downhill little stride, I guess. But yeah, we're down 0-1 going into Berlin S&D. This Berlin S&D, just another day in the park. I feel like our S&D has been really, really good. It's probably been our best mode this stage, in my opinion. And it definitely showed this map. I think we ended up winning 6-1 or 6-2. But overall, we were winning a huge amount of man down rounds, and we were just doing a really good job of retaking bombs on our defenses. Our offenses, offense is kind of whatever on the map. I feel like it's kind of a matter of if the other team lets you plan it. I don't even know. There's a lot you can do on offense, but I feel like defense is mainly the rounds to worry about. So we were winning a lot of those rounds with our retakes, and we ended up winning that map, which brought the series to 1-1. So going to the map 3, it was Tuscan control, and this map got really dicey because we ended up losing a defense. I think we ended up trading defenses the first rounds, and then I think we lost our second one, which brought us down 1-2. and we just couldn't win an offense after that, so we lost 3-1. And it was mainly hardpoint that our problems were in, but I think this series kind of just showed that like we were kind of off in general lately. But we ended up losing this map 3-1. There isn't really much to say. We lost a defense and couldn't win an offense. And yeah, now we're down 1-2 going to a Berlin hardpoint. So in this Berlin hardpoint against LAG, I think we started out pretty well. You know, P1s, you go back and forth. If you have a good side, you usually win it. P2s are but we were kind of just getting insta broken on all the money hills, like P3s and P4s. And like in my mind, if you're gonna have a P3, or like if you're not gonna get the P3, then you need to be getting the P4, if that makes sense. Like you can't not be getting either of them, because both those hills I feel like are guaranteed at least like 45 seconds for the most part. And you know, once again, just like the boat cage, I feel like we're trying to do too much at the same time. Like we're trying to hold the entire map, we're not trying to like trap people, and overall we're just like, we're making the map extremely difficult on ourselves, especially in this series. And we just never really capitalized when we did get a kill or two and like collapse on hill. We kind of just sat around. So we ended up losing the series 3-1, and that put us in a weird spot for the standings for the stage, because we still had to play London and Seattle. And London was a team this stage that was looking really, really hot, which, you know, like I said, put us kind of in a weird spot, because now we had to win against two pretty hot teams, in my opinion. Yeah, we ended up going against London next, so let's talk about that one. So going to this Gav hardpoint, it was pretty much a back and forth like little battle. It was like just trading hills. You know, we had a couple good hills, they had a couple good hills, we had a hill, they had a hill, and it ended up being like a 1 or 2 point game. They couldn't win off the last P5. I wouldn't say anything crazy really happened this map, but they couldn't end up winning off the P5, and we ended up winning the rotation. I slammed them on the rotation, had a streaked in, and they ended up sliding up you and just kind of killing us off time and winning. And honestly, that was probably the only way we could have lost that right there, which is super unfortunate. But in my eyes, this was kind of a map we threw for sure. We should have took this map, but we didn't. So now we're down 0-1, and we're going to a boat cage S&D. So in this boat cage search, you know, like I said, our search has been pretty fire, but we can't always rely on search, because situations like this happen where, you know, we play London, who is a pretty decent boat cage team, and they kind of just, you know, play a good S&D. I would say our teamwork was a little bit off here. And in that way I mean like, you know, like challenge together, nading shit together, and that kind of stuff. So there was a round or two I was getting blooded, and I trolled, to be honest. There's probably like 2 rounds I trolled away. Like I said, you can't rely on searches all the time. I think we ended up losing this map 6-4. And now, since we didn't win the search, we're down 0-2, and it puts us in a really bad spot, especially when our hardpoint is looking iffy, because you know, you're just down 0-2. So we got to complete this reverse sweep, lost the S&D, and now we're going to a Berlin control. So we ended up winning this Berlin control 3-0, and honestly, I feel like, you know, Berlin's probably the most versatile control we have right now, just because I feel like it's so easy, or like it can happen so fast to where a team in offense can just get 2 or 3 kills and then hop the point and win. And that's why I feel like it's the most versatile, because both sides can just win the most. And I think we ended up winning. I think we won our first defense, and then we won an offense, and then we won another defense, and then just winning 3-0. And I'd say our control for the most part looks pretty good. Our respawns in generals looked a little iffy this stage, but I think our control has looked pretty nasty for the most part. So we'll end up winning this one, and now we're down 1-2 going into a Tuscan hardpoint. So during this Tuscan hardpoint, you can definitely tell that we're on like somewhat different pages. You know, some of us want to break one way, some of us want to break another. And in my opinion, it's pretty much a comms problem. You know, like you can break any way you want as long as you're doing it together. And when we're not calling out to each other like the small things, then things kind of get mixed up, and you know, I feel like the playing gets lost. But overall, we just played a really bad hardpoint in my opinion. We were doing a really bad job on breaking, and we were just getting insta broken when we were set up. So, you know, as it sounds, with that combo you can't really do much, and we ended up just losing this map. And now this puts us in a really bad spot for the stage, because now we have to beat Seattle basically for winners, like do or die. Not do or die, but like you know, it's basically guaranteed. If we beat them, we're in. We lose, we're out. So yeah, let's get into the Seattle series. So first map against Seattle ended up being Tuscan, and I think this was a good thing for us just because we ended up going over a lot of stuff in hardpoint generally before this match, just because of how our hardpoints were going in the series beforehand against LEG, against London. And, you know, especially in a match now where we literally need to win to make winners for the major, then, you know, we're going to do everything we can to make sure we're getting back on top. So we had really good breaks this map. I feel like even though they were getting set up at times, we were kind of just getting a kill or two, knowing where they were on the map and using our numbers to bully them out. And we were doing that on a lot of the hills. And then, you know, one thing on Tuscan that I feel like we never really do, which I'm sure all you got, or not never really do, but we try to do, we just never really do it well, that I'm sure you guys know, is, you know, the P1 rotation. I feel like even when we get there, we get insta broken sometimes. But in the Seattle series, we did a really good job of making sure we're getting all of P5, all of old time, and then kind of just setting up a break for the P1. And it ended up working that way. I think we got the last like 35 on a P1, and in my opinion, that's a dub. Even if you're getting like 25 on a last P1, like that's supposed to be like a money if you're set up. So we'll take that. And yeah, like I said, we just went over a lot of hardpoint, and it definitely showed during this map. So we ended up winning this map, and now we are up 1-0 going into a Berlin S&D, which this map was actually wild. So in this Berlin S&D, the real story is just, it's the Celium show. I mean, it wasn't anything too crazy of a map until MC clutched, I feel like. I think we were up 3-2 or down 2-3 when MC ended up 1v4ing them. Before this round, like I said, the map wasn't anything crazy, but we were on offense. We planted A, and MC just ended up 1v4ing from like B dom, like glass hall, long area. And I feel like in the situations like that, especially if you get 1v4 in a match, depending the team, you know, obviously I don't know Seattle, but I feel like depending the players, depending the team, like you might just lose full. And next round, it kind of looked like they did lose full because I think Mac ran, like they were on offense now. So Mac ran towards B bomb by himself without bomb. They grabbed bomb late off spawn, and like everyone was kind of just separated. It looked like there was like no game plan on their side. So I feel like after MC 1v4, we were kind of just in control of the map. And even after the MC 1v4 run, I think they ended up planning A, and MC was in a 1v1, and he ended up just ninja defusing it. And, you know, like rounds like that happening back to back, it's kind of just like a lose full simulator. And that ended up just being the story of the Berlin. MC just took over. We ended up winning like 6-3, 6-2 or something like that. And that brought us to Berlin control, which we looked pretty good at Berlin control against London. So let's get into this one. So this Berlin control, we went into it and it was looking pretty chalked. We started on defense. We ended up losing our first defense. I know we ended up losing one defense. I don't know if it was the first or second round, but we lost one. And then we just didn't win our offense. So we started down the map 0-2, and this is the only map where you go down 0-2 and you don't really think it's chalked. You don't really think it's over. And I mean, that's kind of what happened. You know, we went down 0-2 and we were kind of just saying like, this is still doable. We can still do this, you know, don't worry, yada, yada. And I think the biggest turnaround was I literally like 4-pieced them on B point when they're stacking. We probably should have got 3-0'd. But after I 4-pieced them and got them off the point and we ended up winning our second defense, it was kind of just a turning point. I mean, we won that round. And then I think we won by lives on our second offense. And that brought us to a round 5 offense. And in my opinion, I feel like you want kind of offense on Berlin control round 5. Just because how easy it is to get kills and get on the point. It's kind of just a matter of the other team making mistakes. More so than like your team capitalizing on like certain situations. Yeah, this series was absolutely huge for the major. We ended up reverse sweeping that control. We ended up winning the series 3-0, and I think I was like 46 and 46 on the map. I don't know how I have so many engagements. Not 46 and 46, but I think I was like 30 and 30, no bullshit. But yeah, the series was huge before the major, just because of seeding, just because of the CDL points, seeding for champs, and you know, just morale and the vibe going to the tournament. I feel like this 3-0 really brought a lot of vibes to the table. So we ended up finishing the stage 3-2, and I don't know who we played first round of the major, but either way, the New York major is about to be lit. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you drop a like on it. if you're new here, make sure you sub to the channel, and in the comments below, let me know what you're excited for at the major. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.